Live. It says we're live.
Says we're live.
Well, let me just. I always do a double check here. But welcome. Oh, it says I'm live. Yep, I see us. Well, hey, welcome, welcome everybody to G.Parkers Arcade Room. Special friend and guest who's been on here before and will always continue to be a wonderful guest here on G.Parkers Arcade Room. And everybody, welcome Off Grid Arcade. Say hello to everybody, Off Grid.
Hey. Thanks for having me on again. This is always a pleasure to be on here.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. And I think the first order of business is this is not only G.Parkers Arcade Room with our special guest, but it's also Mr. Poststyle's Drive to Work. So any of you that watch Mr. Poststyle, and he's a friend of ours who has appeared with us on numerous live streams of us gamers, and he lives on the other side of the country from Off-Grid myself, and he does not get to get in on my 10 p.m. Central Time live streams. So he enjoys listening to them on the way to work. So this is a good morning to you, Mr. Poststyle.
Yeah. Poe gets up early. He's got it. He was up. Well, of course, this morning. I don't know if you saw in the chat there, but he was on his way to work, and old Mike Seeby hadn't even gone to bed yet. Poe was at work. Poe gets up early. He's on the East Coast, though. Well, he's in Western Pennsylvania, but so he gets up early to go to work, and so I don't really blame him. I'd be in bed too.
Yeah. Off-Grid and myself are both Central Time. Again, Poe is Eastern Time. And then Mike Seeby's gaming headquarters, which is also the Gaming Road Warrior.
Right.
And he is on the West Coast. So there is some little bit of lag in that. So, I did a video today on the put out one today on the help me out, man. I'll tell you what, this old age and late at night. You're talking about late
Mario
at night
Kart.
on the Mario Karts.
Yeah, I just got done watching that.
Yeah, and that's a lot of fun. But I think I'd like to just start out talking a little pinball, because a lot of my people come on here, and I know a lot of your people too, Bart, are into the pinball, because we do a lot of pinball. Right.
Yeah.
And first thing I want to say is I hope everybody got a chance to watch the challenge, and I'm not saying this because I'm bragging, but the challenge that the off-gridder, what Cheryl referred to you, she says, I'm going to beat those off-gridders.
Yeah.
Tell everybody about that and what made you come up with the concept, and or just I'll let you have the floor for a minute. Talk about that.
Yeah. Well, I'll start off by bragging for you, Greg, because Greg beat all of it. I could even, and no offense to Cheryl, but I think we could have Cheryl come on our team and you still beat all three of us. G. Parker had a fantastic game, but he's being modest. But no, Kelly and I were just sitting here, and we always get into Chaos's tournaments, and you and Cheryl have been doing your videos where you have your little competition, and I told Kelly, I said, it would be fun. Let's challenge them, couples versus couples kind of thing, the off-grids versus the G-Parkers, and we'll combine scores, and I think that went over well, and that was a good time. But yeah, I think we should continue turn it into a series, and we can do multiple different ways, guys versus girls or something like that. And we could have all kind of stuff. Could be fun.
Yeah. I think people get a kick out of watching. I don't know. We'll get creative on that. I noticed nobody's in the live chat. I hope to goodness that this is actually going out live.
Yeah, it is. I can see it on my phone. It says there's people here, but no one's chatting yet.
Okay. Well, anyway, you mentioned Chaos, and he's usually in here, and I know Chaos got a real kick out of that Mario Kart thing because he left a comment on that video. But getting back to pinball, so yes, the competition thing is. Oh, there's Arizona Cowboy 1.
Okay, Easy Cowboy 1.
Let me tell you something. That's a great guy there. I've gotten into this 3D printing, which I'll tag on a little bit later, but he's really helped me out a lot with that. So I want to thank him. And yeah, there's some stuff he sent me, some information that I want to get started on. I've just been so busy with other stuff and been too busy to turn it off. I don't think that thing's quit running. I'm just having a ball printing stuff. So anyway, but thanks Arizona Cowboy 1 for showing up. But getting back to the pinball, I'll tell you, we talked about the competition and stuff, and I think I'd like to continue that on and have a good time with that. But and then there's the unknown gamer. Hard to see you. Oh yeah, I'll tell you about that in a little bit. The reason you can't see it. But anyway, FX pinball. Just the plain FX, not FX3. Arcade Chaos is running some cool tournaments over there on the Switch, which you can play on your PC, and you should be able to find each other. But have you been playing with the FX? Have you noticed are there any tournaments going on FX?
I haven't even looked into the tournaments on FX yet. I've had all of the new tables. I'm doing the same thing you are. Anyone that's been watching G.Parkers shows about that, I do the same thing. I'm not rebuying any tables that I had on FX3, but I'm buying all the new tables that they come out for FX. But I haven't bought the new one yet. But I haven't even looked into the tournaments. They got tournaments active on it. I didn't know if they had it active on this.
I believe they do. I believe they do. And just like you, I did not have a chance to really participate yet, but I did notice that there was a tournament tab. So yeah. I was wondering if you'd had a chance to try that.
Yeah, I have not tried it out yet to see. I imagine it's like the FX3 tournaments. If it's not a locked tournament for just us, friends and people that watch our channels, there's always people out there that spank us. So just getting on those wide open tournaments, that's an ego crusher right there.
Yeah, it is.
You'll have the best game of your life, and you're not even 10% of whoever wins.
The one thing I was going to mention, you talked about buying the game. Mm-hmm. And I did buy that latest game, and I did put in my video that you did not have to buy coupons or tickets or whatever to buy that game.
Right.
But you know what? You can't buy anything else without them. I checked. When you go on the game and you go to buy, you have to use coupons. I call them coupons, but they're tickets.
Right.
That one, I got an email saying a new game's out and a link to click to it, and it let me buy it just outright with money. Now, I went to that Epic Game Store and started looking at all the other FX games, tickets only. So there must be something weird with that game that nothing else you can buy. There's 2 games you can pay cash for. Indiana Jones.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Bless you.
Thank you. I was fighting that thing for about 30 seconds, and it won.
I could tell. I can see it building up. But there's the Indiana Jones and that game, and Indiana Jones $15, and I already bought it from other games.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, Derek Switzer in the chat mentioned the Indy was still cash, and I think I remembered that. And, now I'm curious. Can you buy the new one? I know Indy you can't. It's cash only. Can you buy that new table that you just purchased? Can you buy it with tickets, or can you only buy it with cash?
Gosh, that I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't have enough, but I do have leftover tickets from when I did buy the other games. But I kind of like the cash idea better, and like you said, you can do a credit card or PayPal, right?
Right.
And I like the idea of paying cash, and it's a little more expensive than they were before. What'd you say? It was $5.49 or something like that, U.S. dollars.
Yeah,
But that's
540.
still, I mean, I was thinking about it, and if you go to an arcade, and if Kelly and I play a game, 75 cents each, that's a good price at an arcade. 75 cents for a game. That's
Yeah,
$1.50 for the two of us to play it. We play 3 games, we're at $4.50 already. We play 4 games, the two of us, we've already passed that. And you have the game forever. You can play it whenever you want. So I don't think, it's a little more expensive than it was, but pretty much everything else is too.
Yeah.
That's the way the world works.
Derek's asking about Grim. Grim is on Epic on the FX table, which you have to buy with coupons, tickets.
Yeah, through the ticket system.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I may have spoke on my video because I said, oh, it looks like they're going to start selling them from. Well, it appeared that way to me because of that situation, but I don't know. It's different.
Yeah, I think they are. I think that was just their first test, and I think they're going to see how it goes. Do you watch the YouTube videos from Zen? They have their monthly little show, and they talk about the new releases, and they pinball inflation too. Derek says. Yeah. I watched the latest one. Matter of fact, right after I watched your video playing the new game, which I wish I could remember the title of that new game because we can't just remember. But people will have to forgive us because we're both old farts and our memories work about that. We'll both wake up probably 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, that's the name. But they do a monthly show. There's a Zen. They have a YouTube channel, and they said every month they have a new table plan to come out every month for the rest of the year, and they'll have a little trailer for the new game. And I watched it, and they did talk about the pricing thing, and I think they were saying this is a test bed kind of thing, and I think they're going to try to get away from the tickets because they've had so many complaints.
The problem with tickets is there's change left over,
right.
And what do you do with that change? I mean,
right. Yeah. Because you can put the packages together, and because I didn't have any of the games until I could get it running on my cabinet. So I bought 200 tickets, and I was buying all of those ones that you can't get on FX3, and the price was dropping per game because I was buying so many of them. And I think it worked out to where I was paying like right around $3 a piece, which is 30 tickets. And then when I got all of those games, I had 20 tickets left over. So even if I had tried to throw another game in, I wouldn't have had enough. So now I got 20 tickets sitting there doing nothing.
Right.
And you got to buy 50 is or 100 is the minimum you can buy, right?
Yeah.
So that would give me 120. So maybe I could buy 2 games with that, but they don't have 2 tables that I need.
Yeah.
So I like the cash idea. Just I'll buy the ones I want, and I don't care if it costs me a couple bucks more. I'd rather. I mean, it costs you a couple bucks more anyway if you have leftover tickets.
Yeah. Well, Lars from Zen Studios said that coupons or tickets are what you Americans wanted. You want them,
right? Hey, Digital Victory is in the house.
Digital Victory's in the house. Hey, since we got some new people in here, I wanted to say too, the Unknown Gamer, before he has to check out because he won't stay long. He said, "Hard to see you." Hello. The reason it's hard to see you is actually I didn't get a chance to tell you this off grid. Originally, tonight's broadcast was planned to even feature some video from the Unknown Gamer's new residence in his game room area. But unfortunately, not to gross anybody out, but the Unknown Gamer has a case of shingles.
Oh, no.
On his face.
Oh. Dang.
I don't know. I've had the shingles. I've had the shingles vaccine, but he's a lot younger. He didn't have the vaccine, but he had it on his face, and it
Wow.
swole his eyes shut.
Oh no.
So if you've ever had it, it's a bad enough to have it. I had it just on my back, a patch on my back. He got it on his face. So
Yeah.
our thoughts are with the unknown gamer who's probably squinting right now and
Absolutely.
talking.
But I will say this: if you're gonna have your eyes swollen shut so you can't see the video, Our Faces is a good video to miss because
yeah,
there are much better looking things that you would want to see. So at least
we have voices for radio. I mean, faces for radio.
Faces for radio.
Yeah.
That's why Poe doesn't ever watch these. He listens in the morning because then he doesn't have to see us.
Yeah, exactly.
But so I hope he gets to feeling better. That's tough. That's tough.
Now, okay, so I do too. I hope he does. Now,
Digital Victory covers his screen when I come on. See,
yeah.
That works.
But Digital Victory, now he's in the house here now. I have to help me out because I try to watch all the videos I can, but I don't know if Digital Victory's running the new FX yet. Are you running the new FX? Digital Victory?
I haven't seen him do one. Now, I did see him do that Death Race 2000 table. What was that, yesterday or the day before?
Yes.
That looks like a fun table. That was an awesome movie. I love that movie. And, Digital Victory had that. I have not installed it yet, but it is on my list, my to-do list for the next couple days when I don't have to go to work. But, and unlike him, I actually watch his videos. I don't cover the screen when he's playing, but
yeah, but I don't think you ever see his face.
Yeah, only in the beginning part. When he's playing, he doesn't. He probably sticks his tongue out while he's playing, so he doesn't want everybody to see it. That's probably what it is.
Well, I know one thing. We can talk all the smack we want, but I notice you or I, neither one have challenged him to a high-scoring game.
That's what I was just going to say. Whatever he's doing, it's working because he's way better than I am at pinball. And he's way more knowledgeable. So anyone that's watching or listening to this, like we always say, and G.Parker always says, check out Digital Victory's channel because it's really, really neat stuff, how in-depth he goes on the tables. Now this he didn't go to work on the Death Race. He was just having fun, so it's not really an in-depth like his normal ones. It was just have a good time and let's play, which he played a good game, a great game. A lot of multi-balls in that game. Looks fun.
Now, if you want an update on now, again, hate to keep picking on you, Digital Victory, but while we're on the subject, Digital Victory does play on At Games Legends Pinball, the Legends Pinball, which works great for him. As a matter of fact, you just got to check out his stuff. It's a beautiful layout that he's got. And I do know that the Sam's Club across the country after the holidays started reducing the price on those things and letting them go. And I don't remember where they bottomed out at, but I remember looking at a Facebook group on At Games products, and they were announcing it. But here where I'm at, and it's Kansas City area, there's a Sam's Club that's had them. That I guess maybe the managers get to decide when they're going to start closing stuff out. Now, mind you, this is September coming up, and they've been in there since Christmas, and they're just big stack of them. And they were 7 something, and then they came down to 5 something. Well, I went in there the other day; they were $400.
Wow!
So they have come down, and I got a friend who works in there, and I said, if you see those things, if they don't turn over and you see those things drop down to $200, call me.
Yeah, and pick up a second one, and I'll come up to see you and pick one up.
Yeah, I mean, for $200, there's $200 worth of just wire in the daggum thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll get that low, but that's what I told her. I said, she says, "What do you want one?" I said, "If they hit $200, I'll buy 1 or 2." And she said, "Well, I'll keep an eye and let you know."
Yeah, that would be a great price. That's good anyway at $400. I mean, they're good units. I mean, Digital Victory plays on one, and it looks great.
I don't think there's anything wrong with them at all. No.
Yeah. Of course, he plays VPX and FX tables. He uses his computer PC, and he lines into it. But it looks like a pretty good table. I don't have room for another table, but if the price was right, I'd make room.
Yeah, I don't have room for another one either. But I told the wife, it's just the two of us in this house now. The kids are grown up. I said, who needs a dining room table? They're overrated. So.
Yeah, that when I first got my actual pinball tables, I had the Joker's table that the back glass is always behind me in my pinball videos, and I had an old EM table that's just called Pinball by Stern. And when I first got them, they were in our dining room because I was adding on a game room to my house, but it wasn't done. And I had a Donkey Kong and a Robotron machine in there too. And those things got played so often because they were right there. And then when I built the game room and moved them into there, it was kind of an out of sight, out of mind. And they didn't get played as often as they did when they were right there.
Yeah.
But my ex-wife kind of liked having the dining room back. I was like, we could just get new games to put in the game room and leave these here. It'll be fine. But she vetoed that.
I'll be done.
That's why she's my ex-wife.
Yeah. Well, like I say, this pinball thing seems to be a big craze right now. And Derek, I just got to acknowledge Derek's somebody that I've talked to on the side here a little bit about pinball, and he's a pretty avid pinball guy. Of course, we all know Digital Victory. That's his mainstay. And the Unknown Gamer, who we all know that when he was staying here with us, everybody knows that's my son. He just moved, got his own place recently, but when he got out of the military, he came and stayed here for a little bit, and he loved it. Now I'll tell you what, I can speak for him. We've gone to the pinball arcade, and there's a game down there I can't get him off of, but it happens to be the most expensive. It's not in production anymore, and one of the most expensive, hard to find games. That's Batman 66. Now I've got the digital version of it.
That is a fun table.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We played that one it was a pizza joint up in the Portland, Oregon area. When we were there last year, we played one, and then I have the VPX version also. That's a fun table. And I didn't want to. Derek had asked about the height on. I don't have the At Games pinball. I would like to have one if they were cheap enough, but I don't have one. I have a home built. So he was asking the height because I'm tall. But I wouldn't. I think they have. Does Derek have one? He says he would buy another one. I don't know what the height of the play field is, but my table's kind of low because my wife is kind of low. Kelly's only 5 feet tall, so I made our table so she could play it comfortably. So I don't know. I'm not overly concerned. I have long arms, so I can reach down. But yeah. So, but that new FX table, getting all the way back to where we started 20 minutes ago, looks like a fun table. It looks pretty neat.
Yeah.
And the sounds and all that were sounded really good. So
yeah, that's one thing I'm having trouble with, especially from somebody who's trying to put out a YouTube video, is the sound. You've got the mode. I guess you call it the attract mode, where it's playing the FX theme song, which is that soft music, but it's loud. And then when you start playing the game, you can adjust the volume, the FX volume and the main volume and all that, the volume inside the game. And I turned that all the way up, and man, I'll tell you what, it's just so much quieter than
Digital Victory's asking for a link so he can jump in here.
Absolutely.
I'd send it to him, but I don't have his number because he don't like me. So I can't.
I'll tell you what. Continue with the show here, and let me see. I'm going to take a quick break here, and Bart, I'm trusting you with my channel and my show here, and take it away. Whoops, wrong way.
He turns it over to me and then makes me small and puts me in the corner. I see how he is. Yeah. Derek says wife goals all around. Yeah. I cannot remember the name of that table, but it does look cool. So Derek, you have a At Games Legends pinball? Do you hook that to your computer and play like FX and FX3 and all that, or do you just use the ones that came with it? I know a lot of people end up hooking a computer to it, which is how I would probably do it. I'd have to line into it with a computer. It's a weird name, that's why. Yeah, it is strange. It is strange, but it looks like a cool game. Yeah, not on computer. Yeah, but they look like really good tables, and I don't know. I think people are just a little nervous about digital pinball versus, real pinball or physical pinball, however you want to call it. But I like the digital pinball because I had 2 physical pinball machines and I loved them. Kind of like G.Parkers, I had the same kind of deal where I had one that was newer and one that was an older table, and I had a blast with them. But man, the maintenance was constant. There's a lot of maintenance on them, and now I live off grid in a tiny house, and I don't have room for full size tables, so I can have one. Our table's about a 3/4 size, and I can hundreds of games on it. So building your own 3-screen. Yeah, I only have a 2-screen, but it works well. So
let me interrupt real quick. Just say Digital Victory. The link's been sent. So if you didn't get it, just put something in the chat here. But should have been to you by now.
Yeah.
Yep. Says delivered.
Yeah. Yep. Tiny house. Yeah. Kelly and I live in a tiny house here. As you can see, I'm sitting in the living room, and here's my refrigerator. So I'm that far from the kitchen, and about 4 feet that way is the bed from the other end of the couch. So we are in a tiny house, and I have a tiny arcade, but it's all run on battery power. So,
ladies and gentlemen, boys, children of all ages, it's time to announce the one, the only, the Digital Victory.
That is not
Digital Victory. Hey, there he is.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on, man?
Man, you guys talking about Batman 66 made me immediately want to get on this stream. Quick story time.
No.
The real tables are so special. Hey, everybody in the chat, by the way, especially to you, Derek. Let me jump in real quick. Got something going out tomorrow, just letting you know. Anyway, the real table on Batman 66 are so special that each unit that goes out has a custom little sticker right at the base of the playfield under the glass on the right. And it depicts a cartoon scene of Batman 66 TV show, pow, whatever, Batman, climbing a building, beating up a shark, whatever. And it's numbered, 1 through 2000 or however many they made. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I learned the digital version has that same thing. So when you download it, each time you fire up the machine, it's going to have a different image there on the bottom right of your screen on the playfield, depicting one of those little stickers that they have. And I think that's just cool as heck.
Oh, wow.
That is an interesting piece of information. I went to the local pinball place yesterday. See, I told you I can't remember what day of the week it is. And I played Batman 66. As a matter of fact, I joined in a tournament.
Oh, wow.
And get this, man. I came in dead last.
Oh, no.
Matter of fact, I was on my play for the 3rd strike. There was a young kid and an old lady. And I'm old. I mean, this lady was older than me. And she says, honey, I've never played in one of these. Could you help me? I was talking to her and stuff. And I was way ahead of her. And see, out of those 3 people playing, the person who loses gets a strike. And if you get 3 strikes, you're out.
Oh, man.
I was way ahead of her, and I thought, oh, man, I got this old lady, you know. She must have hit some super-duper upper echelon skill shot on the last ball and just blew. I stood there, and I just went.
Nice.
So I just went over, and I said, nice game, ma'am. You did wonderful. And she says, what's that? Oh, do I get to go on? And I said, yes, ma'am. You beat me. And she goes, oh, I'm so happy. And I thought, I am too.
Great.
But anyway, I played Batman. Getting back to the story, I played Batman 66. Must have been a dozen times. And again, because Unknown Gamer's sick, he didn't go with me. Otherwise, he'd have monopolized that game. But I'll have
how many people were in that tournament?
37.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was going to say if there was like 9 people, you could have phrased it better and said you got a top 10 finish. But yeah,
it's like you come in
a top 40
last week.
I was having a bad day.
Yeah, it happened.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. I did a video for Batman 66, and the comments, if you read it, people were telling me, no, don't do that, do this. I was like, okay. I didn't know what I was doing. It's a great looking table, though.
Yeah, that's how I play every table, Digital Victory. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just hitting the ball and hope things happen.
That's what I like about Death Race 2000. When I was playing it, this was probably my 4th game that I've ever played on it. I just, kind of, as you said, I didn't do a tutorial. I was just playing it to show it off because I thought it was so damn cool looking. But it's one of those tables that's really cool because it's very communicative in that you know what to do just by looking at the table. They got big blinking lights over certain lanes. Oh, well, that's where you hit it. So, I ended up trying to get 20 million, ended up at 39. So it was fun.
Yeah.
Game.
That was an awesome game. Yeah. And sometimes that's fun. I do that a lot with some of my videos. I'll download a table and I record the very first game. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing here. Let's see. Just launch the ball and have fun.
Well, that kid that I said I played with the older lady. She's a nice, sweet lady. And this young kid, he was a nice kid. But he asked me, he says, have you ever played this table before? We were playing the Avengers Infinity Quest, which is one that I played quite a bit down there. And like I said, they smoked me on it. And by the way, when it was all over and I was done, they weren't using that table anymore. I played it. I think I got like a 3 million score and they beat me. I thought, you know what? I'll just go ahead and play it one more time. Because when you're in the tournament, you can play unlimited when they're not being used. And I think I got like a 20 million score. So,
of course.
Yep, that's the way it works.
But that kid asked me, he says, have you played this before? And I go, yeah, buddy. And he goes, what's your strategy, sir? And I said, you want to know really what my strategy is? And he says, yeah. And I said, don't drain the ball. I don't know what else to
as long as you can.
Yeah. Just try to keep it up on the play field somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey, to that end, on almost every single machine out there, keep it away from the edges. You're much more likely, if you get near the edges, to start that left and right crap, and you lose it down those outside lanes so often with that. I find that's so much more common than going down the middle. If you, keep it up towards the middle of the screen, just the ramps over and over again, that kind of stuff.
The slingshots on the Stingray, the slingshots, they inevitably throw it right down that outer right or left outline. Yeah,
slingshots are danger.
Yeah, I always like it when they have special shots that you can hit while you're in a multi-ball, and I'm like, I'm just keeping my butt puckered and trying to keep the balls. I don't even know where they're going. I'm just
exactly.
Every once in a while, you'll get done the multi-ball and you're like, holy crap! I just scored 80 million points in that multi-ball. I have no idea what I did. I was just smacking them.
I can't look up the table at the targets. I got to just watch the flippers when I do multi-balls. It's just not good enough.
Multi-balls are crazy. Yeah. Some of those games, they'll have 5 multi-balls, 6 multi-balls at once, and you're like, what? How am I? Yeah.
Well, that one that one you challenged me to, Cheryl and I to.
Yeah.
See that? What was the name of that game? Crap, I can't remember.
That was Castle Storm.
Yeah, Castle Storm. I couldn't believe how many multi-balls I got in that game.
Yeah, you kept getting those multi-balls, those little mini game multi-balls when you get the what is that? Oh crap. And that one little mini mode scares the crap out of you if you don't finish it and it times out because it kills the flippers. And you're like, what just happened? And then the balls drain and then it launches a new one. And,
right.
Yeah, because that happened to Kelly in that match. She got one of those.
I
and
remember
she's like,
that.
oh no, it's not working. And then I saw you had it happen to you too, Greg. And it's kind of scary when all of a sudden you're like, I did not tilt it. I promise you, I did not tilt.
Well, remind me to go back to that tilt story, but I will say this now. You talk about that competition and stuff like Cheryl. Now, you guys know, and you've seen her scores. You've seen her play me on these videos. Now, it seems like if I'm not recording at all, she's just not used to that. She does even better. But when it's just her and I, but the minute I told her it was a competition between you, Kelly, me, and her, she fell apart because same thing happened. She played that game after we played the game that we played one time and uploaded it. Well, I'll tell you, she tripled or quadrupled her score the next time.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure. I think I heard her say in the background that she didn't want to make me cry, so she threw it on purpose. She was like, but no, like I said, that competition was over anyway because Greg had the best game of his life, and yeah. But Derek was asking who won the competition. The G.Parkers beat the off grids, but yeah, that was fun though.
You got to come up here and buy dinner now. Wasn't that the bet?
I'll do it. I'm ready. I'm ready for a road trip.
What is it? 600 miles?
Yeah, it's
that's a hell of a bet.
Yeah, I think it's like 12-hour drive to get from here to there. I'm on the wrong side of Texas, but because I'm 8 hours just to get to Dallas.
Wow, you way west?
It's only 30 minutes longer drive time to get to my mom's house in Phoenix than it is to get to Dallas.
Wow.
So
I've driven across Texas before, and it's like traveling across Europe. I mean, Texas is bigger than Europe, right?
It's
Most
big.
of them, yeah. In 1990, I traveled from South Carolina to California when I got out of the service station in South Carolina and drove back home to Sacramento. And that was 3.5 whole days, and about 1.5 of it was Texas.
Yeah. Did you come down to 10 and go across? Yeah. I got out of the Navy.
In Tucson.
Yeah. When I got out of the Navy, I was stationed in Jacksonville, Florida, and I lived in Arizona. So when I got out, I did the same thing. I got on the 10 about a mile from my house, and then I got off it in Phoenix. It's like the whole drive was just on the 10. And yeah, you go point to point through Texas on the 10. And that's like, you stay the night in Texas, you drive all day, and you stay the night in Texas. You're like, what just happened?
Yeah. Now, I'll tell you what, we're about I don't know how far we're into this, and it doesn't matter, but at this particular point is when Poe drives to work and he listens to this stream on Mondays. About now, then he listens to the rest of it on the way home. So now it's time to say, Poe, have a safe drive home.
Right.
So I just want to make sure I got that out there.
Have fun at work and then drive home safe.
Yeah. So had to throw another plug in for Poe. So what's new? So it's new on the front for you, Digital Victory. What are you going to be working on next? You got any?
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I started doing a few shorts here and there. The real short, vertically oriented videos that people can look at on their phone. I haven't really determined how effective they are and if people watch them. the viewers numbers are pretty good. So I'll probably do a few more of those. They're so much easier to record. Obviously, I don't have to edit them and add arrows and this and that. But as far as the tables, my next one is probably going to be the top 10 favorite toys or mechanics on pinball tables. I have noticed that the top 10 videos do well. So I want to, toss those in at least like once every month or two. And like the castle in Medieval Madness or the shark and Jaws, those will make the list, of course. And a list of those without including FX3, because FX3 has amazing, mechanics when it comes to that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's next for me.
Oh, that'll be fun.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, I watched one of your top what was it? How many did you do? The Western theme tables?
Yeah, like 8 or 9.
I watched that just the other day, and I left you a comment, and then I realized you posted that video like a year ago. I'm like, oh,
well, that's what's cool about YouTube or pinball videos on YouTube is they're essentially evergreen, meaning they're not topical when it comes to time. If you do a football recap of every week, you do a football recap of your Dallas Cowboys games.
Right.
A month later, no one's going to go back and look at your old videos. Certainly not a year later. But these pinball videos, the old ones just continue to gain viewers every week or so. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was neat too, because it was funny because I was watching it and I was wondering if you were going to include that. What's the one on FX3? The Wild West Rampage.
Yeah, Wild West Rampage.
Oh yeah.
And you kept going and you kept going. I'm like, oh no, he's not gonna. And then it was the last one. I'm like, oh, there he threw it in there. That's a fun table.
I like Cindy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, on the table.
Yeah. And then if you play FX2 in your Quest headset, she's standing there watching you play it, full lifestyle. But she gives you a lot of crap. She's always giving me crap when I drain the ball. So
yeah.
See, I haven't gotten that one for the Quest, and now you should get a commission from them because I'm gonna get that one now. Cindy's in there talking to me in full size.
Yeah, she's standing over there the whole time, and that's like when you mentioned the Jaws table. That's the first thing I thought of. Of course, it's FX2, but they have the Jaws table, and when you drain the ball, the shark comes out of the water and tries to get you. It's pretty cool in VR, but
that is pretty cool.
Yeah, they're pretty fun. But
I actually love FX3 tables. I know some purists don't like it, and they turn off the animations and they play the regular version when they play those, which you can do on FX3. It's kind of cool. I think it's the Y button on your keyboard. But I love all that stuff. The dragon flying around, the flaming pinballs on Medieval Madness.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's cool.
I love that stuff. Now, you talked about bash toys. Of course, I don't know. I know there's a digital version of my Stranger Things, but I don't know if it's the same as the real one.
There is a future pinball version of Stranger Things. It's really good, and it's very evocative. The music, the background ambience music is just spot on. Very 80s, it's got it all together, but it is not the same as the real pinball machine.
Right. And but as far as bash toys, I got it, and I'm partial because I own it, that actual table. But that Demogorgon, I'll tell you what, there just seems to be a certain rush you get when you knock that ball right down its throat, which is a hell of a shot to get, and it doesn't happen all the time. But I'll tell you the funniest one, and I posted on my Facebook account. That's before I could do that here. You can post little community comments now on YouTube. But I got a picture of that ball when that machine was new. I guess the plastic in that Demogorgon was still stiff. And anyway, that ball was stuck. I had to take the glass out and dig the ball out of its mouth. Stuck right in its mouth.
That's awesome.
So
yeah,
I haven't played the real one. I've only watched videos of it in action.
Yeah, we played that at the arcade in El Paso. They had that one, which Yeah, I don't know what it's like to hit that particular toy because I never did, but Kelly hit it a couple times because she put a spanking on me, kind of like in that tournament that I played with you and Cheryl. Kelly beat me at almost every game we played at that arcade. Kelly won, except for I think Willy Wonka is the only one I beat her at.
Well, I want to be respectful to Kelly, but she sees that at a different angle than the rest of
Right.
us.
Yeah, she can look under all the toys and all the ramps, and she can see. Yeah, the problem she has, she says all the time, is the glares because she's at a lower angle and like the back glass. And at that arcade, they had a lot of lighting above the.
Oh man, that would be hard. Yeah.
And the glare was horrible for her. And I offered to go get her a step stool or something, or she could sit up on my shoulders or something.
So I got a question for Digital Victory. Where you're at, I know you've got the one digital pinball machine, which is the At Games, right?
Right.
And, you are, and again, take this compliment well. I hope that you seem to be a good aficionado of pinball. I mean, you really are. You've studied the rules. I mean, I like knocking the ball around, but you really seem to be good at doing that. So my question is, have you taken those skill sets and gone to an actual arcade and played the real machines and done relatively well at it?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a place here in Sacramento called Coin Ops. It's downtown. It's a bar and grill, and they have tons of arcade machines and pinball machines. And I had been there several times and never even looked at the pinball machines until I got into the digital pinball about 2 years ago. And I've since gone back and played, and Medieval Madness was there. Monster Bash, couple of old EM tables, and pinball is pinball, whether it's digital or real. Obviously, there's a little difference in the lagginess and what's that term they use? Delay, but there's an actual term they use. Anyway, when you push the button and the flipper goes. But it doesn't take but a couple balls to kind of get the feel of it. And the angles, if the digital angle is just a little different than the other one, again, it takes a ball or two to kind of get used to it. Oh, I got to hit it a little earlier. But you're hitting the ramps and hitting the drop-down targets and, cradling the ball. All those still apply. So, yeah, I did well. I didn't get the high scores on them, but they're obviously well used and people that know what they're doing are in there. But it was a blast, and I did just fine.
Yeah, cool. I would imagine. Yeah.
You're talking about
how long? Oh, go ahead, Greg. It's your show.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Ask your question because I was just going to.
I was just going to ask Digital Victory, when you do your tutorial videos, do you pick tables? Like I think you did the diner table not that long ago, and I don't think you were overly familiar with that table before you decided to sit down. How long do you prep before you shoot a video? How long does it take you to learn the rules? And
just a day or two, usually. I saw that one pop up on VP Universe, which is the main site I hang out on, and a recent version got posted there with the new physics, the fuzzy physics or whatever it's called. And someone had mentioned in previous comments, you need to do diner. It's a cool table. So when I saw the new version, I was like, oh, now's my chance. So I just go to Pinball Database and look at the rules for it. And then I play it on my desktop right here. I'm in my this little side room next to the kitchen in the living room, and I got the TV there, and the recliners are over there. So when I'm home with my wife at night, we're watching TV, I can bring up a pinball table and practice it and learn the rules and practice those rules that I just read online. So I mean, there's rules to every table online. You read them, right. But without the context of playing it, those rules don't mean a whole lot. So I can bring up the table on VPX right here on my PC and hit the flippers and play it. And it all just, there comes a point, and some are easier than others, but there comes a point where it all totally makes sense. And Diner's a kind of an older table with very simple rules. So that came quickly. In an hour or two, I was like, oh, okay, that's when they say do this and then hit the XYZ ramp. That's what it means. And then I just practice it a few more times on here before I go in the little game room and do my video.
That's cool.
Yeah, see, I play mine when I was doing a lot of videos on it. I would practice and play them in here in the office where I'm at on this PC. This PC is a clone of those PCs with just the extra stuff added on here to do my office. I do my home bills on here and all my other stuff too. But I cloned it first with those pinball machines and then just added a bigger hard drive.
Good night, Unknown Gamer.
Yeah, Unknown Gamer's heading out.
Yeah,
So,
well, I tell you what, if you saw a picture of his face, it'd make you sick, man. That shingles on it face, yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is,
better.
I bought the Stranger Things, and again, maybe you'd know more than I do about this Digital Victory, but when I bought that table, I'm under the impression Stern, or whoever produces the table, all the rules I found on that did not come from Stern. They seem to be updated by people who bought them and figured them out. I don't think the manufacturers released that information. I could not finally I printed out this big thing, and like I say, I've owned this table since September, well, a year now. I got it September, October of last year. And I've got I'll tell you what, there's modes in that thing that I haven't even opened up yet. And we play it all the time.
Yeah. Oh, I believe it. Sometimes tables can be too complicated. I believe that. It's just crazy. By the way, Derek, yeah, CoinOps. I saw your comment. Lol, CoinOps. For those who don't know, CoinOps is a PC based, and also they have an Xbox version of an all-in-one gaming arcade MAME system, retro games.
I got it.
Yeah. So that's how I got into digital pinball, Derek. I had it on my PlayStation 3, maybe even PlayStation 2 back in the day, like some of the Zen tables and Pinball Arcade. And I enjoyed it, and it was fun. But when I got CoinOps and I saw the vast variety of tables and was playing the FX3 tables on the PC where I could kind of really start paying attention to the rules and learning them, I was hooked.
Yeah, that's what got me started in the whole thing. Is I bought that At Games Legends pinball. I mean, not pinball, the gaming arcade, and kind of wanted to. And then somebody told me about a Raspberry Pi, and then somebody told me about these websites you could go and download these. And man, I mean, I got one of them I got hanging on the wall. I'm donating to Unknown Gamer, shipping over there to his house to start his little room up with. That gives me room to build something else. So,
right. Yeah, Derek says maybe Cheryl can unlock those modes for you, Greg.
Yeah, that's probably true. But see, that's something I was going to tell you about a minute ago. You talk about getting your name on the board. Now, on our, of course, we got the high score on the Stranger Things here, and the Grand Champion, because you can zero those out. But there's certain things like certain multi-balls that we haven't even played yet on this machine that Stern, evidently their programmer's initials, well, one of them's name was Gary Stern, was on there, and you just can't beat those scores.
Nah.
But there were some of them that I couldn't figure out what they were, and they were modes that you can create by hitting the flipper buttons just right. So with that being said, I know how to do that on certain Stern machines. So at the arcade, to get my name on a board, a lot of people don't know about these. So what I'll do is I'll turn one. I think you saw on one of my posts, I got a high score on the Avengers game. My name it says G.Parkers on there. Not because I got the high score of the game. I figured out how to unlock that one mode and play it, and nobody else had played it.
Whatever works, man.
So when I go down there now, I told the owner of the place. I said I made a mistake. I said I told him I unlocked it, and I've gotten to be friends with him. Good guy. I said I opened that up. And I played that game, and I got my name on the board. And he's so really. He says, "Well, mine will be up there tomorrow." He's a smart ass. But I went back down there, and he had not done that yet, so I kept my mouth shut. I didn't remind him.
That's awesome. That's funny stuff.
That is cool.
G.Parker the hacker.
Yeah,
Hacking into pinball machines.
Well, if you're in a Stern pinball machine, a newer one, just hit both the flipper buttons and hold them at the same time, and the menu will change up front. And then you can scroll through some other stuff that you can play. And when you hit it, just
digital versions. I wonder if that's programmed in. That's cool. If it's in the ROM, I suppose it would be.
Yeah, it may be. But the another one you can get on some of the new ones is like now, Stranger Things does not have that good a soundtrack. That's the only thing. It's got neat call-outs, but the soundtrack, but like Led Zeppelin has some cool songs on it. Well, if you push both buttons, keep hitting the right flipper button once it brings up that new menu, and it'll go to DJ mode and hit that top launch button. And you can just sit back and listen to the whole soundtrack of the pinball machine, not play it.
I love that.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah,
I just like discovering all the little nuances of tables. Like on that Death Race 2000, there's a couple little things. Number one, when it goes in the capture hole on the left, on the short left side, you get that random award. Hold your left flipper up. If you don't, it goes right down the middle. If you hold the left flipper up, though, it'll hit that, and then you can be in control. I learned that real early. And the second one is when you light up the lock on the ramp to start locking for multi-ball.
Mm-hmm.
It'll say lock, and it'll be lit up. Shoot it up the ramp, the ball will lock. You have to plunge another ball. Hold that left flipper when you plunge it, and it'll automatically go to the lock, so you get a free lock out of it. You don't have to hit the ramp or anything. Little things like that, once you learn those, man, it starts turning around. It's a blast. The discovery process is probably my favorite part.
Yeah.
How did you discover that? I mean, I get the one when it comes out of the hole, and if it drains, okay, I'm gonna. Right. How did you figure out to hold in the left flipper on the launch after a lock? Was accident?
The game was modeled after NASCAR, a game called NASCAR. So I looked up the rules to NASCAR, and I couldn't find any rule sets online for NASCAR. 95% of the tables, when I go to learn the rules, I just type in pinball, table name, rules. Boom. It's almost always the first thing on Pinball Database. But NASCAR would not come up with the rules. But there's another website, and it is called Pin Tips. Pin Tips. They don't give you whole rule sets, but it's just people can type in tips on a table, and it'll categorize them by table. NASCAR did have 3 tips on there, and that was one of them. That's where I learned that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned Pin Tips. When you play in these tournaments that they have here, and I think it's nationally, I actually, even though I'm in last place, I registered with the IFPA, or International Federation of Pinball Association or something, when I get in these tournaments. And they have a website that you can go to, and it's actually, when they're running a tournament, you can actually see when a round is over and which machine you're playing next. It's just kind of cool. Well, when it shows you because the computer, it's complicated. The computer draws you to match the game and the people you play against, depending on how many strikes you had. It tries to keep everybody evened up. But when it tells you your game, it gives you a link on there to Pin Tips. So if you've got time to hit that before especially if you're the third or fourth player, you can push that button and you can read exactly what you're talking about, Digital Victory, that pin tip thing. It'll give you little tips about what you could do to help improve your score.
Yeah, that's useful. That's definitely useful.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Hey, did you guys hear that they're coming out with some new tables for the Legends Pinball next week?
No.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, AT Games has their special going on 3 or 4 days next week, culminating on Labor Day or based around Labor Day or something like that. And they're coming out with 3 new tables. They're nature-based. You got a dinosaur table, a space table, and one other animal kingdom, I think it is. And they look really cool. I saw that, and I was so excited about it that I get to, when the new tables come out, I always do the videos. Hey, here's the new table, and then I'll do immediate tutorials right after that in the coming days. unfortunately, I'm leaving Thursday on vacation until Monday, so I won't be able to make videos of these new tables until later. But they look pretty nice.
Oh, cool. Derek says the history tables.
Yes,
Is that
that's it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Derek also asked about seeing my card. That's one thing, they don't give you a card. It's just that it's a membership number, and you got to log. It's a username and password like everything else, and you go online.
Yeah.
There's no card. But I got a question for you on this at games. They're new tables, but are they ones that I can use on my Gamer Pro?
Yeah. If you're licensed to have your downloads to that instead of your machine specifically, you bet.
Yeah, because see, I don't have an at games pinball, but I have the when I play, I've got a monitor that I've got flipped. You know, the at games Gamer Pro, it has pinball buttons on it, and you can flip it to play horizontally or portrait, and so that's what I do. So I usually buy the games for at games. I like the at games products. It's just I got two home built, like you, Bart. I got, you built your own. I got two home built and then the two regular machines, and that's why I say if they come down to $200, I'll probably buy one. But Cheryl's going to be telling me, where in the hell are you going to put it?
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys something. I have my channel and it's pinball based, as you know. But I was thinking of adding occasional retro game videos in there. Just because I like retro gaming, your Pac-Mans and Outrun Racing and Donkey Kong, whatever.
Right.
Would you think that would dilute the content and be bothersome to the viewers, or no?
I don't know. I started with retro gaming, and then I started throwing in some pinball, and then I started doing the VR stuff, and I'm getting pretty equal hits on everything. It's not like one of the three is outshining lately because it's, my arcade is out in a trailer, and I live in Texas in the desert. So it gets hot out there early in the morning. So I do a lot of VR lately, and I've actually been picking up a lot of subscribers over the last few weeks. So I don't think, I used to try to keep my channels focused because I had a couple of different channels, and people were like, I was doing disc golf and I was doing geocaching videos, and people were like, you should separate those and have a channel just for the one and just for the other.
Right.
And it didn't seem to really make any difference.
Okay.
It wasn't, I just divided my,
I had read similar things, you got to concentrate, you got to find your niche, stick to that one thing. But I don't know. I like retro gaming, and I want to add that too. So
I think, I would say, just for me, I agree with everything Bart said, because I started out, I can't remember. I started out just giving it. Actually, I started this out just so my kids and my nephews, my grandkids that live out of state could see my game room. So I wouldn't even post. I think I posted one video that was up for months. Just the kid says, let me see it. And I thought, well, I'll post a YouTube video. And then it just started growing. But I primarily did pinball. But as Off Grid said, I got the VR headset. I got the Switch. And and I know Derek. I'm going to speak for Derek because I've spoken with Derek. Derek's a great guy. And I know he said to me one time he came on the live stream, says, oh, you're not talking pinball. I said, no, but I'll get back to it. And you can see it. So Derek's still here. I mean, and he's been basically one of my pinball guys. So I'm not saying you won't. It's not possible to say that you won't lose a few, but I find that it's working great for me to be diversified. And I think managing too many channels would drive me nuts.
I like Derek said also they're niche, but they still relate. So that
they still relate.
Yeah. Okay.
Right,
cool, guys.
And I would just suggest for you, Digital Victory, because you have those tutorials that are in depth at a level that most people don't. When people watch my pinball, I'm just playing pinball. When they watch Greg play pinball, he's playing pinball. We'll talk about the games, but you have the in-depth thing. So as long as you don't lose that,
Right,
You
because
know,
I'm not going to do that.
suddenly said, no,
I'm
I'm
gonna
going to play a pinball game, but I'm not going to talk about it much. And then I'm going to switch over to Pac-Man. You might piss some people off, but if you keep
Right.
doing what you're doing,
Yeah.
I think you'll get people that are like, oh, that's cool. He's playing some retro games too.
Okay, cool.
But
Thank you. Right
yeah,
on.
I think it would go good.
Awesome.
But yeah, and so again, just let me recap. So tonight, the plan was to come on, and we were actually, I've been promising you we were going to go to Unknown Gamers, and obviously he had this situation come up. So I shot a video of me playing the Nintendo Switch with the Mario Kart live home course, home challenge, whatever the name of it is. And I was going to save it to actually present on here tonight. But that comes with a lot of technical difficulties of trying to show a video while you're doing a live stream.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went ahead and I just thought, well, I'll just go ahead and post that video. So see, I got that video up, and it seems to be doing well just in the short time it's been up. And so again, to recap, just came on here and we thought Bart and I would get on here and talk a little bit about pinball. And I'm so tickled to death that you're able to join us, Digital Victory. And
Awesome.
It's always fun to just talk pinball. So any of you guys got anything else you want to say about, I mean, I don't know what time it is.
Well,
I think
we do got to, yeah, we've been just over an hour, but we did ask Digital Victory a question before he came on, and I don't know if he answered it in the text in the chat. I missed it. Do you play the new FX games at all? Or
I have not yet. No, I've not downloaded it yet because they don't work on cabinet mode without getting real technical and funky, from what I understand. If they have standard cabinet mode, I will jump right on it because I do love some of those new tables that they have. I don't like G.Parker. I don't think I would double dip. But some of those new tables look really cool.
Right.
By the way, what do you think, other than the virtual shark coming at you, which is really cool, do you like that Jaws table?
On the FX3?
Yeah.
I do, but of those Universal ones, I like the Back to the Future one better.
Yeah.
But now there's a different Jaws table on VPX.
Right. Well, it's on VPX and Future. I think it started out on Future by Terry Red, Slam Built, and those guys in Red, or Terry Red. That table is amazing, and that I love Jaws. I'm a huge Jaws aficionado, just like I'm into pinball and video games. I love Jaws. That's that right here.
Oh yeah, right there. Yeah, I still can't get Future Pinball to work. I don't know, something that when I installed it, I can't. It just because I've been trying to get that dang Star Wars table to work ever since I've seen your video. I'm like, I gotta play this thing, and I cannot get it to work. It starts like it's going to load, and then it just kicks me back to the desktop.
Yeah, I wish I was more technical. That's one thing I'm not is very technical. You know, I know how to read instructions and do what it says, but that's about the extent of my technical ability.
Yeah. Now the cabinet mode on the new FX, it's other than the weird naming to get a back glass up there. Once you set the little INI file so it knows what screen sizes you have and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The only real pain is that you got to go in every time and tell it again, I want to use cabinet mode. It's just one extra little step, but once you got it set up, it's
you do have to. But there's one other thing you have to do. You have to change your screen orientation. You know, with what we're running, which is a Pinball Emporium or Popper, it automatically you leave your screens normal, and it rotates them for you, even in Pinball FX3 when you start them. But when you run Pinball FX, before you start the application, you have to turn your main play field. It doesn't automatically rotate for you. You have to turn it to portrait mode. Am I right, Off Grid? That's what I have to do. Did you find a way to fix that?
My cabinet, I always run in portrait mode. So every VPX table I download, I have to go in and tell it to.
I'll be damned. Okay.
So I was going to switch the other way, but by the time I decided, I'm going to switch, I already had like 75 games. like, I don't want to go back and reflip them. So I run my cabinet in portrait mode, and partly because I don't like training my head to try to see stuff, and you know, I'm in my tiny little thing, so I don't have a lot of room to look to the side. So I kind of like the play field being in portrait mode anyway. So for me, that's not a step I have to mess with. Hey, you just got to go up and click on settings and say use cabinet mode, and then you're golden.
Right. Well, when you have to switch it, Greg, when you finish, do you have to switch it back to go back to your other games?
Yeah, because what I'll do is let's say I finish my night playing FX pinball. With my thing changed, right? Well, I'll shut my system down.
Yeah.
The next day I turn my system on, and my system is set up to automatically load. Pinball Emporium. It automatically it auto loads my what do you call it? The Joy to Key. It automatically loads Joy to Key. Then it tells it next. It's got a sequence of events.
Sure.
Well, so it launches Pinball Emporium. One of them's running on Pinball Emporium. One of them's running on Pinball Popper now. I just switched it over. And both of them, what they'll do is they'll come up the wrong way unless I remember to switch it back, because it remembers the last setting was on. It's a pain in the butt. So I do agree with you. It's a pain. But I'll tell you what, the Joy to Key, I can use the same Joy to Key settings. So as long as I change that, but I'm telling you what, those Pinball FX tables, if you can, they just play great on that camera.
I love the new ones that they released as well. Hey, Retro Arcade Music Man, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Retro. I didn't see him. He jumped in there, and I didn't catch him. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
I gave you a shout out on the video, by the way. I don't know if you heard it. There's some great music on the table. I gave you a shout out during the.
I heard you shout out, Retro. The problem I have with the new FX, because my machine's already in portrait, so I don't have that problem. My machine does not like screen capturing the tables when I'm playing FX.
You mentioned that before, yeah.
Yeah, it gets really choppy to the point. It's not like 4 frames a second kind of choppy, but you can see it. You know, the ball's kind of not flowing as smoothly, and it annoys the crap out of me. So I can't just screen cap grab to make a video, which is why I've switched now to trying to put the camera above filming the play field down, which I like better anyway, because then I can point at the table. But I'm just not having. I used to use a phone for that, and that phone has died, and my new phone didn't like it. So I'm still working on the logistics of it.
Digital Victory, you're capturing yours with an external camera, right? You're not capturing.
I use a DJI Osmo 2. It's an action cam, and it has an actual built-in gimbal. It's for using for, run around capturing cool cinematic footage. But I don't use any of those features. I just put it on a tripod. It's just a little mini tripod. It's not a full big 3-legged thing. It's got just a single stick up and 3 little feet. And it sits literally right in front of my face right here when I play. So I just kind of lean over. And if you got stereo, if you listen to my videos in stereo, you'll see my voice is almost always on the left, because I'm always leaning to the left while I play. So that's the camera that I have. It's the quality is good though. They look good.
Yeah,
so
it looks good. See, now Derek says in the thing that you could have your wife hold the phone for you, but he doesn't know my wife. He needs to be able to reach higher than the play field. The thing would be higher if I just held the phone in my mouth and play.
Well, that's like me. I've tried to do video of me playing my real pinball machines. Now, that's one thing. I'll mention a guy's name. I think Retro Ralph. I don't know how he's capturing his play field, but I think I saw somewhere where Retro Ralph figured out a way to do a video capture of his, because that back glass on these. He's got a Stranger Things like I do, and that's nothing more than a LED or LCD or some type of monitor back there.
Yeah.
So, but I know that I've had trouble getting that, good shot on now. Have you ever watched on Twitch these guys playing in these pinball tournaments? They're building one for down here at the pinball arcade. They're building a thing that actually on wheels that they can roll from machine to machine.
Yeah, they got full trusses and
yeah.
Man, they got some amazing.
You ever watch that pinball tournament up in Wisconsin? I forget what the name of it is.
Pinball?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, and they wheel that thing around to the feature tables and has all the cameras set up. And
yeah, that's amazing. That's partially why I started doing these tutorials. Is Papa Pinball, in addition to having live streams of their tournaments, they're fun. They have tutorials, and some bald guy, but
watch out for those guys.
Guy does these tutorials of tables, and my God, he's so good. He's just really good at pinball. He can just hold the ball, grab the ball anytime he wants. It rarely goes down to outlane or the center because he can nudge it at will. He's great, but his flipping tutorials are like an hour long. And I figured there's got to be an audience out there that wants to learn the ins and outs of a table without spending an hour. And that was the basis of my channel right there.
Right. Well, it works. I like your videos a lot. I think you do a great job.
Yeah, I when I got into the pinball, I did a search for pinball, and you're one of the first ones that came up on the list, which is good for you. It's
so cool to actually start gaining traction like that. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, now I found you through G.Parker, and I thought, oh, cool. Here's someone I can watch that knows the pinball stuff. I can stop watching G.Parker, but he keeps sending me texts and he sends me links, so I get stuck watching his videos anyway. And then he invites me on, so then I feel obligated.
Yeah, and then you send me challenges and lose. We can banter back and forth.
I challenge him, and then he beats the snot out of me. He's like, yeah. But,
it's all good times. It's all good times.
Hey, if anybody in the audience hasn't seen my video for Ace of Speed, I did a tutorial on that, and G.Parker, we did a kind of a collaboration on that. It's really fun. Check it out. It's a good one. I don't want to tell you too much about it because it will spoil it. So,
and if any of you want to go way back in history with me in pinball, it was look up Your Average Gamer. Y'all know Your Average Gamer. Okay, go back and do a search. Your Average Gamer, and back then I went by the name Retired Writer. Retro Arcade Music Man thought I was a retired writer, as in writing, and it's writer. When I retired from my job, I got a motorcycle and I rode around the country, and I called myself the Retired Writer. Anyway, if you do a search for UAG plays Retired Writer, he was talking smack. I was watching his channel. We got to go know each other through the At Games Legends Facebook group. And he was starting to play this pinball, and we challenged each other. And there's a video on his channel. And I don't want to spoil it for you, but you'll see Your Average Gamer crying.
All right. Definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, I've heard that story. Yeah.
Oh, he even came on here, and if you're listening, Your Average Gamer, I'll give you a rematch if you're not too chicken.
The gauntlet has been thrown.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, listen, guys.
At one point, I'm going to do a challenge to Digital Victories, but beforehand, I'm going to hack that the pin tips, and I'm going to put a bunch of wrong tips for whatever table I challenge him on. So,
that's dirty bull.
Dirty bull. And then I'll have no excuse when you beat me anyway.
I don't know. I rely on my knowledge, not my skills.
I don't want to get too personal now, but I got to ask this. We've talked about Kelly Plays. Cheryl couldn't even fathom the arcade games, but when I started getting the pinball, she fell in love with the pinball. So she's down here. Digital Victory. Do you have a wife that enjoys the games? Does not enjoy the games? Does she play as well?
Yeah, I do have a wife, and she wants nothing to do with it whatsoever.
Okay.
No, she likes video games though. We would sit and play Uncharted, and she'd do all the story mode stuff. But when it came to the shooting stuff, I would take over and do the shooting stuff and kill the guys, and she'd take back over. And she used to play Metal Gear back in the day on PS2, Metal Gear Solid. So yeah, she likes games all right, but pinball doesn't interest her.
Has she tried it? Has she tried it, or does she just never even wanted? Because
she never.
I was like having to twist Kelly's arm. It's like I built the machine. I'm like, it's free. It's not costing us any money. Just get on there and play it. And she's like, I don't want to. And she got on there and played it. And 3 hours later, she let me play another game.
Wow.
And it's like,
she'd be if I did that. If I ever talked her into it, it'll just tie her up and drag her in there. We'll see.
Yeah, because she fell in love with pinball. And, I don't even have to finish the sentence when we're in anywhere that has a pinball arcade or something. Hey, they have pinball. Let's go. And I'm like, okay, I'm in.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And Cheryl likes the old. She loves the Stranger Things. She's glad we got that one. But I'll tell you, if you asked her today, are we getting rid of the 1977 Stingray or the Stranger Things 2020, 2021, whenever it came out, she would tell you we're keeping the Stingray no matter what.
Yeah,
she loves that old.
Yeah.
She calls it a ding table.
The ding table. Yeah, I miss I like that one I had, that Pinball by Stern. And that one, I think I told you, G.Parker, the story of how I got that one. I had my Joker's table already, and a friend of mine, he had this pinball, and I wanted to buy it from him. And he's like, no, I'm keeping it. I'm not so. And after I bought my Jokers, I asked him about it. I said, you still have that table? And he said, yeah, I'm throwing it in a dump. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, I can't get it to work. I've had 3 guys come out, try to work on it, and they can't get it fixed. I'm just getting rid of it. And I said, whoa, I'll come pick it up. If you don't want it, maybe I thought, okay, maybe I can use some parts from it, flippers or something. And I took it home. He didn't charge me for it. He said I could just have it. I took it home, and the old scoring reels, when you start them up, the player 1 was stuck. So I took the scoring reels off, cleaned them, and played a game. And I saw him. We coached Little League against each other at the time, and I saw him at the baseball field, and I said, dude, I got that machine working. I had it 80% working in about 10 minutes. And I said, you want it back? And he said, no, I gave it to you. It's yours. Keep it.
Wow.
So, and I ended up getting it about 95%. There were still a couple little things that didn't quite work right, but it was 95%, and it was free. The only thing I paid for it, I did put new rubbers on all the bumpers and stuff, right. And I put a new piece of glass on it. So I think I was $60 into the thing, and I had a working table.
Yeah, you got to wonder about those 3 guys that worked on it before.
Yeah, I hope he didn't pay them, because I had never worked on a pinball machine in my life, and I had the thing working in 5-10 minutes. It's like, yeah.
Well, listen, guys, I'll tell you what. I'd love to keep it going, but we're 1 hour and 22 minutes into it, and I know that
I gotta go.
Some of my viewers might get when they watch the playback, they'll go, "Are these guys going to talk all night?" But anyway, right. I want to thank Off Grid first of all for coming on and graciously offering to help fill in tonight. Digital Victory, always a pleasure. I want to let you know you're welcome anytime. I wish I'd have seen the text sooner. But we finally caught it here, and we got you on here. So you're always welcome. We just love having you guys. So you guys got a final word for tonight? I'll let you, Digital Victory, I'll let you start out.
Just thank you. I appreciate it so much, Greg. Thank you very much for bringing me on. Good to see you guys in the chat. Derek, Retro, Arizona. I think those are the last guys I remember on the chat.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Off Grid. Thanks so much for the comments too on my videos. I appreciate you, dude.
Oh yeah.
And stand by, Derek. I mean, Derek's still here. Digital Victory, stand by, because when I take us off, we'll be in the green room for a minute before we go. So, Off Grid, you got anything?
Yeah, same deal. Thanks for having me on, Greg. It's always fun. Good to see the people in the chat. Always fun to talk with you, Digital Victory. Love your videos, and it's always cool to get the chance to talk to you. Anytime I don't have to talk directly to Greg as often, that's a good thing. So the more the merrier. And it's always fun. People can hopefully anyone who's just listening and not watching. So I'll just describe. He did laugh when I said that. We're all joking and we have a great time. It's always fun.
It's all good.
Digital Victory fits right in. He jokes around, and it's a fun time as well as educational. So I had a great time.
Well, thank you again, both of you. And my final word is it's Poe. If you're still listening, you claim to watch these clear to the end. I want you to send me a text saying "end," E-N-D. And I'll know you watched to the end, buddy, on the way home from work.
He might not be able to text. Did you see his text earlier? He said he bought some stuff and his wife hasn't found out yet. He might be living out in the doghouse. He might not be able to text.
Everybody have a good night. It's good having you on Sunday night. G.Parkers, 10 p.m. Central on Sundays. Don't forget to check out Off Grid Arcade and Digital Victory. They got some great content. Nice to see y'all. Have a good week. We'll see you next time. Bye now.
Bye.
See ya.